Okay, great. Welcome to this webinar, how to create the lifestyle, the income, and the impact you want with your real estate license. I'm your host, Mena Badros. I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it, and I'll do a quick introduction later. So the big question is, what is it that you want? What do you want out of real estate, right? Like, what are you hoping real estate will do for you? I've asked this question to hundreds, maybe thousands now, of agents and brokers when I teach classes in person and online. And usually their answers falls into one of three buckets, right? So for you, let me ask you, and you can go ahead and drop your answer in the chat. What is it that you want, or what are you hoping real estate will do for you? Think about that for a second and drop your answer in the chat. Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay. So most people, most agents and most brokers, when I ask them this question, what is it that they want out of real estate, or what are they hoping real estate will do for them? It comes down to one of those three things: a certain lifestyle that they desire, a certain income that they desire, or a certain impact that they desire. So what does all that mean? A lifestyle, people give me answers like they want the freedom that can come along with the real estate career. They want the flexibility. They want to be able to be present for their loved ones when they need to. They want to be able to travel without taking days off or PTO. Basically, people get into real estate. One of the reasons why is they want to do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, on their own time, right? The second thing is, a lot of people get into real estate is because of the income. People want the income to be able to provide for their family and to help others, donate to charitable organizations, whatever it is that you do with your money or want to do with your money. And the last thing, or the third thing that a lot of people get in the business for, is to have an impact. Whether that's to have an impact on your family by the income and the lifestyle that you're able to provide them, or whether that's having an impact on clients by helping people step into home ownership, by helping people handle basically the biggest transaction of their life, right? Or by being able to take that money that you leverage and what you're able to learn and grow into in your real estate career, and be able to use that to impact others. So again, I'm gonna ask you, what is it that you want out of real estate? What are you hoping real estate will do for you? Think about that, and if you care to share, drop that answer in the chat. Like I said, when I ask a lot of people, hundreds, maybe even thousands by now, it usually comes down to one of those three things, right? So, but how do you achieve that? How do you achieve that desired lifestyle? How do you achieve that desired income? How do you achieve that desired impact? How do you essentially create all of that and put it into place? We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to kind of go through it fast for the sake of time. I'm going to go through a lot of information, a lot of helpful tips for you. Even if you were able to take just one thing from today and apply it, it's going to make a difference in your life and in your business. I tell people this of all ages when I speak in different venues: unapplied knowledge is simply entertainment. Unapplied knowledge is simply entertainment. You can take all the tips and all the tricks in the world, the best strategies in the world, but if you don't do anything with it, nothing will change, nothing will improve. But even if you take one thing and apply it consistently, you can see a change, right? So I'm going to go through a lot of information really quick, and at the very end, I am going to offer you help. I'm going to offer you help to implement all of this stuff together, and no, you don't have to pay me for that. So stay through the end. You'll get a ton of information, and I'll show you what I can do for you, how I can help you, and what does that look like. Okay, cool. So real quick intro about me. My name is Mena Badros. For those who don't know me, I wear a lot of hats in the real estate space. I'm a real estate investor. We have a portfolio that generates six figures in rental income, millions of dollars in assets. I'm a real estate agent. I've done transactions in all types of residential and some commercial businesses, from primary residences to rental homes to multifamilies to flips to short-term rentals and some commercial business as well. I'm a real estate instructor and trainer. I've trained probably thousands of agents by now in many different states. That picture on the right is me doing a class. I think that was in the state of Maryland, a pretty big class there, right? I'm also a real estate mentor. I mentor new agents that come into my company, and that's very rewarding. I love to kind of help people and see them grow. And I'm a real estate success coach. I take the time to listen and understand what people's needs are, what people's goals are, and I help them, plug them into the right resources and help them take that next step or the next steps to then achieve their goal. More importantly than all the hats I wear, I'm passionate about making an impact in the lives of others. I had a corporate job that was in the dream industry of mine at one point. I left that job to go speak and inspire people so that I can help people appreciate their life, enjoy a better quality of life, and live their life to the fullest. I've been blessed to speak at schools, churches, conferences, and many events in the nation and also internationally, and I still do to some extent. I believe that you can create the life that you want, and which is one of the reasons why I left the corporate world, because I wanted to create the life that I wanted. So I believe that you can create the life that you want, and I believe that real estate is a great vehicle to help you do that. And I am here to help you put those things into place and take those steps. And if you stay to the end, I'll show you how. So, how do you create your desired lifestyle, or how you create your desired life with real estate? It takes a lot, right? And I've been fortunate to be around a lot of people who are years ahead of me, who are in places where I want to go, whether that's lifestyle, whether that's impact, or whether that's a desired income. All right. And I get to teach a lot of people. I also get to learn a lot. And here's what it takes, right? Here's a list of things that it takes. It takes a lot of things like mindsets, strategies, activities, processes, systems. It takes marketing. It takes prospecting. It takes having the right resources, the right structure, the right support, and a solid and simple game plan. We're going to talk about all of that in this webinar fairly quickly, but most of all, it takes you. Because all of that stuff on the side, all these bullet points will not happen if you don't take action, if you don't get yourself right and do the right things in order to achieve these things. So I'm going to talk about you for a second. I'm going to talk about your mindsets and your habits, because truly that is very important. And if you look at, the people who are doing, whether it's real estate or anything else at the highest level, it first starts with them, right? And there's something that says achieving what you desire is more about who do you need to become in order to achieve that, right? So becoming successful is not so much about all the things that you need to do. It's much more about, who do you need to become in order to achieve that? Who do you need to become in order to achieve that level of success? So achieving what you desire is more so about who do you need to become in order to achieve that. Now, here's what a lot of people lack in real estate and also outside of real estate, and maybe why a lot of real estate professionals don't survive in the business and leave the business. You all know the stats, I'm very sure, so I'm not going to repeat those to you. But a lot of people lack commitment, a lot of people lack discipline, and a lot of people lack consistency, right? So what does that mean? Commitment is commitment to your goal, regardless of how much time you fall off track. So if you're committed, if you want a certain lifestyle for yourself or for your family, are you committed to that? Or are you just interested in that? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't, right? Are you committed to that? If you have a certain income goal, are you committed to that? No matter how much time you fall off track, no matter maybe if you don't hit it this year, are you going to try again the next year? Are you going to keep going after that goal? How are you committed to that goal? Are you committed, or are you just interested, right? So really get your commitment down. Are you committed, and what are you committed to? Because if you have that strong level of commitment, no matter how many times you fall off track, no matter how many times you veer to the sides, you can always refocus and recommit and get back to it. The second thing is discipline. What it really comes down to is doing the small things repeatedly, the small things that matter. You have to identify what those things are and do those things repeatedly and consistently. So do you have the discipline to pretty much take the action? And it doesn't need to be something gigantic. It could be as simple as making calls. It could be as simple as sending postcards, sending text messages, creating content. We're going to, look at a list in a little bit, but do you have the discipline to pretty much take the action that's necessary to get you to your goal? And consistency. It's not about doing one thing big once, right? It's about finding out the small things that need to be repeated on a consistent basis and doing that, right? So commitment, discipline, consistency. Be committed to your goal. No matter how many times you fall off track, have the discipline to take the action that's necessary and be consistent with that action, right? So how do you get there? Like I said, it comes down to being clear on the small things that you need to do and do them repeatedly. I know a lot of mid six figures and seven figure earners in real estate, and their business plan is not very complex. But what it comes down to is knowing the exact activity they need to do, and they do that most important activity every day in and day out. They are clear on that one thing, that small things that they need to do, and they do that repeatedly. Think about even professional athletes. Think about the greatest three-point shooters, for example, right? They're focused on shooting. They're focused on doing the small things that they need to do, and they do that repeatedly, day in and day out. And that over time separates them way far, right, from their peers and their colleagues and the competition. There's a Tony Robbins quote that says, I'm just going to focus on the second line here. Success is really the result of a series of small disciplines. Success is the result of a series of small disciplines. It doesn't take, gigantic plans. And honestly, real estate is not rocket science. Okay. If you've been in other industries and you transfer to real estate, which most people do, real estate is not really rocket science. It's about figuring out what you need to do and just doing those things and continue to do those things. So one thing that it takes for you to reach that desired level of success, that desired lifestyle, that desired income, that desired impact, is having the right mindset and the right habits. You want to believe that you're capable of achieving, and fear is one thing that holds a lot of people back. You need to have the belief that it is possible for you. You need to have the belief that you can do it, right? And if other people are doing it, you can do it too. It doesn't matter how farther along they are, how much more resources they have, all of that stuff, none of that matters. If other people are able to do it, you can do it too, right? Maybe at a different pace, maybe a little different, but if other people are doing it, you can do it too. And you need to have the commitment, the discipline, and the consistency to do it. So the first thing that it takes is the right mindsets and the right habits in place in order to achieve that, right? So some of you may be like, okay, that all sounds good and great, but I need to close deals. I need to make money, right? That's really what I need to do in this business. And I understand that real estate is a business, and in this business, we need to close deals to make money. We need to make money in order to provide and make financial impact on our families and others. We need to make money to create that certain lifestyle that we're after. Excuse me. And most agents want to know how to close as many deals as possible, right? Or as many deals in order to reach their goal and reach their targets. But I want to remind you and put in this perspective that it's not really about the money. Money's great, money's needed, but money is not the end goal. Closing deals is not the end goal. Productivity is not the end goal, right? Freedom is really the goal. The desired life is really the goal. What you do to get there is really the means to the end. Now, you may need money to get there, but what you first need to do is to create this desired life. You need to envision this desired life. What does that look like? You might have heard the phrase in some real estate trainings, this phrase, a life by strategy. Or you might have heard this phrase, a life by design, right? Like I said, I believe that anyone has the ability to create their own life. And we are in a great environment, in probably one of the best industries, right? That can enable you and empower you to really create that life that you want. But you need to have a strategy. If you're only going after the number of deals or after the amount of money, you'll just continue to be on a transaction treadmill, right? Deal after deal, check after check, commission after commission, transaction after transaction. And you just keep going, right? Not really thinking about the holistic life. So what does that life look like? Okay, you need to ask yourself and really take some time to think about, okay, what does your life look like? What does your ideal life look like? What does your ideal work day look like? What does your ideal off day look like? I know a lot of realtors are probably laughing. You're like, I don't have an off day. I'm writing contracts, when I'm not supposed to be writing contracts. I'm checking emails and having conversations when it's family time or what have you, right? But what does your ideal off time or off day, what does that look like? Or how do you want it to look like? What are your target business goals? What goals are you trying to hit? Maybe it's a number of transactions. Maybe it's a certain amount of money. Maybe it's a certain number of people that you want to impact or reach. Whatever your goals are, what are those? Who are you working with in your ideal life? Who are you working with? What is your ideal client, right? Who are your ideal colleagues? What is your ideal environment that you can actually enjoy, right? And the last question here is, what are you working on in your ideal life? If you were to have it all your way, what would you be spending your time on? What projects, what activities would you be doing, and that you would actually be enjoying? I know this is a lot of questions. Later, I'll give you a chance to get a template where I'm going to walk you through a lot of these questions, and it's going to give you a chance to really think about and write these answers. So if you stay till the end, I'll let you know about that. But I just want to get you thinking about what your ideal life looks like and what the strategy look like. So after you envision your ideal life, what is your strategy? What is that roadmap to get you there? And strategy encompasses the methods, the actions, and the decisions that will get you to what you want, right? How will I get there? What methods do I need to, apply? What actions do I need to take and consistently? And what decisions do I need to make along the way? And also very important, knowing what will not get you there. It's very important to know what will not get you there so that you stop spending time on the things that are just distracting, the things that are not effective, the things that are basically taking you away from those high yielding activities where you should be spending your time. I got to have a phone call with a mentor of mine who's earns mid six figures per month. And we were talking, and he said, you're doing a lot of work, but there are some things you got to stop doing, right? So you have to really figure out what things you need to stop doing, what things you don't want to do anymore because they're distracting and they're taking away from where you want to be. So strategy is about being intentional about what you need to do, what you will do, and what you will not do in order to reach that desired lifestyle. I know a lot of you are eager to get into the business stuff, and we will get there. But trust me, this stuff is very important, right? Because a lot of agents, and I teach a lot of agents, and I ask agents a lot of questions, okay? A lot of agents don't know what they want their life to look like. A lot of agents don't know what their value proposition is. What is their value to the market? What are they offering to people? How are they standing out from the competition? NAR, National Association of Realtors, has about 1.5 million realtors right now. 1.5 million realtors who are, members of NAR, and there are other people who are not realtors but still real estate agents. Last year, we sold only 6 million homes. Okay, you divide 6 million by 1.5 million, that's only a handful of homes per agent, right? So how are you standing out from your competition? What is your value to the market? If you've been to any business type settings, if you work for any corporations have a vision and a mission, right? And a value proposition, right? So a lot of agents don't have that and don't think about that because they're just not trained on it. And a lot of agents don't know their ideal client. Most agents just want deals, whatever deals, wherever the deals can come from. They're just after the deal, and then they go chasing another deal, and then you just deal after deal without really sitting back, thinking about what does their ideal life looks like, right? What does their business look like? What value are they bringing to the market? Who is their ideal client that they want to work with? A lot of agents don't know what their focus is, what their strategy is, and don't really have a roadmap. Most just go with the flow, hoping to close as many deals. And the hustle is great. Trust me, I love the hustle. But there is a better way of doing things than just hustle without really the proper things in place that allow you to grow and scale your business effectively and efficiently. Okay. And you can have all the great strategies and plans into place, but nothing will progress without you taking action. Okay. Nothing will progress without the activities needing that will take you from point A to point B. The only thing that moves the needle, the only thing that takes you from where you are today to where you want to be are the steps that you take to get there. All of this plans, all of this stuff is great, but unless you take action, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to happen. So the biggest thing you need to take is action. I was having a conversation with a coach who coaches probably the top agents and brokers in the country, right? And they were talking about things that top performers even lack. And you'll be surprised. It doesn't come down to processes, systems, marketing strategies. What it comes down to is really discipline and action. Discipline and action. All right. So make sure you take action. Make sure you're disciplined in the action that you take. So there's a very important question is what is that one activity you need to do? As realtors, we wear a lot of hats. Even just if you're a real estate agent and if you're not doing anything else, you're still wearing a lot of hats. But what is that one activity that you need to do? What is that one most important activities? Yes, there's a lot of things that you need to do, but what is the most important activity that drives your business? And if you don't have the answer, think about that. What is the most important activity that you need to do that drives your business? And I'll tell you, it most likely, just to take a guess, it most likely has to do with lead generation or generating business. That is usually the most important activity that you need to focus on. The one activity that will help you generate more business. And it can be as simple as making calls or reaching out to people. I know a guy who makes over $1 million in commissions a year, and all they do is they prospect in the neighborhood via phone calls, cold calls for a few hours a day, then sends people an email. That's all they do, right? So it doesn't need to be complex, but you need to figure out what is that one activity you need to do. So whether it's making phone calls or reaching out to prospects or releasing a consistent newsletter or marketing to your database and Sphere, and we'll talk later about that. A Sphere or the lack of having an organized database is one of the big gaps most realtors regret, right? And I have a solution for you on that. So stay till the end. You'll make sure to get information on that. So marketing to your Sphere or your database. It could be creating compelling social media content. There's a lot of people who are getting business simply on social media. Also, YouTube is getting really big. TikTok is getting really big. But you have to create content. You have to be consistent, and you have to be targeting your ideal client with that content. Hosting or attending community events and networking in the community, whether you're providing value or whether you're just engaging and connecting with folks in the community. Also engaging in groups. There's a lot of business, right, that happens over Facebook groups. For example, there's a lot of community Facebook groups. There's a lot of targeted or specialized Facebook groups for investors. For example, if you work with investors, or for short-term rental investors, if you work with that audience, and if you engage and if you're there at the right time, and you can gain a lot of business from that. Right? Running effective ads or running effective campaigns, or making compelling targeted offers to the market through messaging and through funnels. I'm not telling you to do all of this, but whatever that one activity is for you, whatever that most important activity is, make sure you're doing that on a daily basis or on a consistent basis so that you keep generating business. And everything else will fall into place. And that activity may be boring. That activity may be uncomfortable. Maybe you don't like the phone, right? But that is what you need in order to get from point A to point B. The greats master the mundane. The greats master the mundane. Think about that. The people who are great master the small tasks that they need to do. So what is that small task? What is that most important thing that you need to do? And if you do that, it will generate the results and make everything else fall into place. So if any of you are thinking, well, I have too much to do anyway, I have a lot of stuff that I need to do regardless, whether I only want to focus on one thing or not, there's a lot of stuff that you need to do. So if you haven't honed in on that one activity yet, maybe this question will help you. What is that one activity that if you do, it will generate the results to make everything else fall into place? What is that one activity that if you do, it will generate the results to make everything else fall into place? If you take action, if you make calls and you get people that want to hire you for your services to buy or sell a home, hopefully over time you develop the mindsets, you develop the habits, you'll develop the processes, you'll develop the systems, all of that. But what is that most important activity that will take you there? So we talked about having the right mindset and habits. We talked about having the vision for what you want your ideal life to look like. We talked about having the strategy, the roadmap that will take you from point A to point B and to meet your goals. And we talked about the activity. You have to get narrow on what is that one activity that you need to do. Okay? And once you have that, we can work on processes and systems that you need to have to make it easier on yourself, to make it more effective and more efficient, right? Because time is limited and you simply cannot do everything at all times. You have to have processes and systems into place to really become effective and efficient and to do as much as possible with least time as possible. So when we talk about processes, what does that look like in real estate? Well, here's a very simple process, okay? And if you don't have a process, I can help you put one together. But regardless, it's very important to have a process because it makes things easier. So here's a very simple sales process when it comes to real estate. It starts with attracting people, then moving these people to clients or converting them to clients, then closing the deal, then following up for referrals, reviews, and repeat business, right? So you attract people, lead generate, you attract leads, you take those leads and you convert them into clients. They become, your buyer or your seller. Then you help them accomplish their goal, which is closing on that deal, closing on that transaction. And then you continue to follow up with them so that you can get referrals, you can get reviews, you can get repeat business from them. Over time, this number 4, the follow-up, can really become the sole provider of your business. There are many agents who rely only on referrals and repeat business, but it's because they have taken the time to grow business over the years or over time, and they have taken the time to nurture and follow up those contacts, and through that they receive referrals, reviews, and repeat business. So this is a very simple process. If you don't have a process, this is where you can start, and then you can start plugging things in, and I can help you with all of that. Now, each of these steps can essentially have a process in its own, okay? And I'll show you just one, for example. So, for example, the lead to client process. So let's say you do the activity to generate the lead, whatever that activity is. Let's say a phone call, right? You make a phone call, you generate the lead, you connect with the lead, you make contact, or you connect with them, you qualify them, then you set the appointment, okay? After you set the appointment, you research their needs, you research into the property more, and then you go on your appointment or you do your listing presentation. And at the end of that, your goal is to sign a representation agreement or a listing contract to make them your client. So this is essentially the process and the steps that takes you from generating a lead to then converting this person to a client. On the right side, you'll see a chart. So let's say you are having a home seller's guide on your landing page, and people have to fill out their information to get it. So as they fill out their information and submit the form, that's generating a lead. It comes into your system. Next step is you have to make contact with them or connect with them. A lot of people do it manually, but there's a way to do it where you can automatically, or have your system automatically respond to these people, because as you know, the speed to response or the speed to lead is very important, and a lot of people do business with whoever responds first, okay? So someone fills out a form on your website, it goes to you in your system or you connect with this person, get them on a quick phone call, okay? Ask them qualifying questions, see if this is a viable prospect or not, okay? And then you move to set an appointment, and then you research the property, you research their situation, you go on the appointment. Sometimes you might send a pre-listing package. We can talk about that at another point, kind of the listing process and what you can do. But a pre-listing package can go a long way and can really promote you and build trust in you before you even get there. When you go there, you have your listing presentation or your appointment with them. And at the end of it, hopefully you get them to sign a listing agreement with you. And then from there begins the buying and the selling process, and you helping them achieve their goal and closing the deal. Then from there, the follow-up. So you attract, right? You convert, and then you close the deal and you follow up. So that process is a great process, but if you have the right systems into place, it will help you automate a lot of these things and make sure nothing falls through the cracks. I ask realtors this in a lot of classes. I ask them, if you were to go back and restart your real estate career all over again, what is that one thing you would do? Think about that. If you were to restart your real estate career all over again, what is that one thing you would have done? The number one answer I get is having an organized database. That is the biggest gap for realtors. The number one answer I get is having an organized database. The second answer I get is not really having an organized business. Okay. Now, the funny thing is, all of us pretty much have access to a database, have access to a place where we can store contacts. But the important question is, are you actually using it? It's not just about having a tool, it's actually having a tool that works and a tool that you actually use. Okay? Because it's not good. It's no good if you don't use it. Now, we have a lot of other systems, and some of them can be connected to our database. You can have a system that tracks people as they go through the process so that you can see exactly how many leads did I generate, how many folks did I qualify, how many clients do I now have a representation agreement with, how many people are looking for a home or their home is listed with me, right? How many people are under contract, how many past clients do I have? And in each of these stages, essentially, you can track how much monetary value is there. So if I have X amount of listings under contract, well, here's what I'm expecting to get paid next month, for example. If I qualified this many people already and I connected with them and they're pretty much ready to go, well, I have this much amount of business sitting in my pipeline that if I do the right things, and I help these people get to their goal, I should be able to close these deals. A lot of times, realtors don't have a grasp of really what that looks like, right? They don't have an idea of what their sales pipeline looks like and how much money is sitting at every stage of that pipeline, right? Maybe you have a system that attracts leads, that allows you to capture people's information. For example, for when you registered for that webinar, it was through a system. There was a landing page, you clicked the button, you filled out a form, and this morning you received some confirmation emails, you probably received a confirmation text. All of that came from my system that I have set up, right? And you can have campaigns for each of the stages in the process. So if you talk to somebody but they're not ready yet, what are you sending them? What information are you sending them to get them to the next step, to provide value for them, to educate them, and to keep you top of mind when they take that next step? Right? Also, a system that has follow-up sequences that follow up with people on birthdays, maybe anniversary year of their transaction, or an important date for them, or in holidays, or just regularly as whatever, however you set your calendar up. Do you have that in place? You might have a system that requests reviews. How many times do we forget to ask for reviews? Or do you currently have a system that populates all the reviews for you, and you can even maybe with a click of a button send an email to get reviews from all your past clients if you haven't been collecting that, right? So I'm gonna do a quick plug-in right now. So all of those bullet points that I went through, including the database, right, and the CRM, all of that is in one system for me, and that is called Always Connected. My next webinar is about how to create your lead generation, follow-up, and sales machine. We're going to talk about strategies. We're going to talk about tactics that you need to have. And towards the end, I'm going to show you actually my system, Always Connected, and how I'm able to do all of these things in one system and replace a lot of other systems. You might also have a system for workflow management. Make sure that you stay on top of the tasks that you need to do. A system for transaction management where you have all the paperwork, whether you use .loop, DocuSign, SkySlope, whatever it is, all of us, I'm pretty sure, have access to something like that. So how does all of this work together when it comes to systems and processes? First, you want to have a process that your leads are going to convert to clients, convert to then referrals after. So you want to have a process, and you want to have systems in place and people, whether yourself and other staff, that guide people through the process and have it as automated as possible. So you want to create your process, then plug in the systems and personnel to guide people through that process and have it be as automated as possible, so that people are always, the target is always getting a person to the next step, and without things falling through the cracks and without you having to do everything manually. Okay? So in order to get clear on all of those answers to the questions I asked, I know I asked you a lot of questions, and again, at the very end, I'm going to offer you a template where you can fill out all that information information and really take some time to think about it. In order for you to get clear on the right strategy, the right activity that you need to do, the right processes and the right systems for you specifically, because it has to be tailored to you. In order for you to get in and stay in that right mindset, the focus and the disciplines, what you really need to have are the right resources, the right support, the right structure, and a game plan, a solid game plan, and something that could be simple but effective. So let me show you what that looks like and how to get that, right? So in order to achieve all of that, those things I talked about and stay on track, you should have in place the right resources, the right support, the right structure, and a game plan to get there. So what does that look like? The right resources are resources that you can learn from. For example, step-by-step instructions for working with for sale by owners, or step-by-step instructions for geo farming, or step-by-step instructions for hiring staff, whether that be assistants, whether that be other agents, whether that be other vendors. Okay, resources that you can learn from, resources that you can utilize. So for example, scripts for buyers and sellers, presentation templates, business planning templates, whatever, but resources and materials that you can personally use, and resources that you can seek out and go to for answers to questions that you have. So let me ask you, do you have that right now? And do you have it for free or at no additional cost to what you already pay for in your brokerage? Do you have those resources that you can learn from, that you can utilize and you can go to for answers? And do you have that for free or no additional cost? The second thing is support. And this is really big because we're independent contractors as realtors, or most realtors are independent contractors. And most realtors don't have this level of support. Do you have a person to guide you one-on-one? Do you have a person there to help you plan, to help you, to plug you in into the right resources, a person to hold you accountable? And I find that to be of great value, and this to be a big thing, because again, we're independent contractors. We're out there working on our own. There is no one asking us what we're doing, how we're doing. There is no one holding us accountable, right? In the majority of cases. So do you have that person? And if you do you have that person for free at no additional cost, right? Like rather than paying thousands of dollars for a coach, for example. Do you have people who are already where you want to go? People that you personally have access to. I'm not talking about people that you can sit in and have attend a class for or attend a webinar for, but people that you can pick up the phone and have a phone call, one-on-one phone call, people who are light years ahead of you, who are at places who are already achieved things that you want to achieve. Do you have that? Do you have that for free? Do you have staff and departments that are available to you? I'll tell you, I do. And I'll tell you, I want to be that person for you, that support person for you. And I want to plug you in to the people who are years ahead of me, who may be years ahead of you. And I want to plug you into all the right resources to support you. And if you stay till the end, we'll talk about how. And are you in the right structure? Are you in the right business model? Real estate is a business. And we have to look at whatever we plug into as platform, a platform that I can leverage, a platform that will allow me to reach my goals, right? And to reach my goals in the most effective and efficient way possible. If my goal is to have an impact, which platform will allow me to have the biggest impact? If my goal is to have a certain desired lifestyle, which platform will allow me to have the best possible desired lifestyle, get there as quickly as possible, and to be, in the best form possible? So you need to have a structure and a business model that benefits you, a structure and a business model that allows you to reach your goals in the most efficient way possible, that supports you, that provides you the most value, that provides you the biggest opportunity, and that offers you the best possible outcome or the best deal. As realtors, our jobs to our client is to secure the best possible outcome for our client, right? Is to get them the best deal. So you should want that for yourself too. Which platform, which brokerage, which agent, right? If you're a client, which agent would help me get to the best possible outcome, would help me get the best deal, and basically help me reach my goal. So which structure, which business model allows you to live out your best life And do you have that now? And do you have it for free or at no additional cost? And a big thing it takes is a game plan. So we talked about a lot of things, and it's very easy to dismiss those things. But if you take the time to think about those things, write them down, and actually implement them step by step, you can accomplish great things. And all it takes is doing small things repeatedly. But it takes a game plan that identifies clearly and simply the goal. What is that goal? A game plan that identifies clearly and simply what you need to have in place. A game plan that identifies clearly and simply what steps you need to take. A game plan that puts together all of what discussed in place for you. And more so, do you have someone by your side to help you do that? To help you get clear on the goal, get clear on what you need to have in place, get clear on the steps that you need to take that can help you actually put in place all of these things for you and hold you accountable along your growth journey. Do you have that? And I'll ask again, do you have that for free or at no additional cost to you? Excuse me. I'd like to ask you some very serious questions, with your permission, of course. Then I'm going to wrap up. So we're shortly wrapping up. But I want you to stay till the end. I'm going to show you how I can help you. And I want you to stay till the end so that you can really get the full information. And I also have some upcoming free events that I will share with you. Okay. So my serious questions to you are, we talked about all of these things. And again, unapplied knowledge is simply entertainment. You can do nothing with this information and nothing will change. Or you can take one simple thing and actually do it consistently, and you will see great change or great improvement. So here are the questions. Who would like to get all of these things implemented? The right vision, the right strategy, the right mindsets, the right habits, the right processes, the right systems, okay, the right activity, okay, and have that support, the accountability, the resources, and the structure. Who would like to get all of these things implemented? Who would like to get all of those things or all of that following for free or at no additional expense? The right resources, support, structure, game plan, and who would like for me to help them every step of the way? I can help you through every step, step by step, all of the things we went through. So if it's okay with you, with your permission, of course, I'd like to make an offer to you. You guys make offers every day, right, on behalf of your clients. So I'm going to make an offer to you. With your permission, of course. And again, stay till the end. We're almost done. So you can get the really full information and some upcoming free events to you. Now, my offer to you is not a coaching service. So I'm not asking that you pay for my time to coach you. My offer to you is not a high-priced course to buy. I'm not asking you to buy a course for a few $1,000s. My offer to you is really a partnership, right? My offer to you is not a partnership where you would have to pay a major cost or contribute a major investment towards this partnership, right? It is probably the most cost-efficient partnership and venture you will do. My offer to you is to partner with me alongside with thousands of other top agents and brokers around the country, where I will personally support you directly. I will help you put all these things into place, and I will hold you accountable at no additional cost. I will plug you into the right resources and people that can take you to the next level, even by just being in the same room with them. Okay? Where you're going to have basically the best of everything, the best structure, business model, staff, incentives, tools, opportunity, etc., the best of everything that you need to thrive. An offer where you will get to collaborate with the best of the best in the business. Okay? And a whole lot more. We can discuss basically everything that you need that will help you achieve your desired lifestyle, income, and impact. If this seems even of the slightest interest to you or your team or your brokerage, what you need to do is schedule a call with me. Now, understand that my time is limited, and those I partner with, I really want to give my full and wholehearted support to, just because that is who I am, and that is the only way I work. So at some point, this offer may not be on the table in its current form. So what you need to do is get on my calendar right now so that we can schedule a time to discuss. No obligations, just a quick conversation and just a good conversation. 15-minute call. I think I already put a link in the comment, right, in the chat. So go ahead and click that link in the chat. It should be pinned. And if you don't see it there, it is simply, I'll put it on the screen as well, calendly.com/Mena Badros, calendly.com/Mena Badros. You can open up another tab and type this in, calendly.com/Mena Badros. Or if you look on the right side, there should be a chat with that link there pinned up top. So whichever one, click there or go there, schedule a call with me. All right. So think about this for a second, right? Think about if you were not to do this partnership, the amount of money you would pay for one-on-one support and accountability. That can cost in the thousands of dollars per month, and I already know that. And if you looked at coaching services before, or if you've been pitched by coaching services before, you already know that as well. Think about the amount of money you would pay for in order to get the resources and the material that I'm going to share with you. And those normally would be thousands of dollars. And people used to pay that amount of money for the exact things that I can share with you. And think about the amount of money you would pay to have access to the people that I can connect you with. That would be thousands of dollars per month. And trust me, some of these people have already, right, charged thousands of dollars per day for their coaching and their training. So in this alone, in my one-on-one support to you, in the resources that I'm going to share with you, in the materials, in the people that I'm going to give you access to, you're saving thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars per month, right? The amount of value and the impact that you can get here, the amount of value that you can get here and the impact that it can have on your life and on your business is priceless. And this is not a MasterCard commercial. So think about that when you think about the partnership. How much would it cost you to actually put all of these things into place by yourself or outside of this partnership or in a different model? And how much would you save by this partnership today? At the very least, you cannot afford not to explore it. I mean, any open-minded business person would at least be curious enough to explore what this opportunity looks like and what it can do for them and their business. And again, no obligation, just a quick and good conversation. And then you can make the decision whether this is for you or this is not for you, and no hard feelings either way, right? And I still look to support you, but I can support you a whole lot more if you partner with me. So my offer to you again, really quick, and I won't read it all for you, but the offer is to partner with me and alongside of thousands of other agents and brokers, where I will support you directly, where I will help you put all of these things in place and hold you accountable, where I will plug you into all the right resources and the people that can take you to the next level, where you will have the best of everything, where you will get to collaborate with the best of the best in our business, and you can have the ability to achieve the lifestyle, the income, and the impact that you want. So you already know what to do. Get in my calendar so we can schedule a time to discuss. No obligations, right? Just a great conversation. And here are some upcoming events that I'll share with you. Some of you already have registered for these events. Okay. So the next one is how to create your own lead generation, follow-up, and sales machine. I'm going to share with you strategies. I'm going to talk about how to manage and maximize on your database, as well as new incoming leads. And I'm going to share with you an actual system that can help you do that. You can register at the same exact link you registered for this webinar. And if you're already registered, I'll send you an email and a text with the page of the next webinar that you can register there if you haven't already. And the last webinar on here or on your screen is how to provide the most value and opportunity to your agents while increasing profits and gaining free time. We're going to talk about leadership strategies. We're going to talk about creating an environment that allows people to thrive. And we're going to talk about having an effective and an efficient business operation. Trust me, a lot of brokers are not living the life, and team leaders are not living the life that they imagined when they stepped into the role of a team leader or a broker. It is a lot more time consuming than they thought. It is a lot more cost draining than they thought. So this workshop is really for that, for brokers, team leaders, or those who look to grow a team or a broker. So again, how to create your own lead generation, follow-up, and sales machine, how to provide the most value and opportunity to your agents. You can register at those webinars, the same link you registered for this webinar, and I will also send you an email and a text with a link to register. So here's again my offer. I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm just going to leave it on the screen. You know what to do. Get on my calendar. Let's discuss. Find out all this works. Right? No obligation. Just a good conversation on the call. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, whether about the webinar or about anything else. We'll talk about how this partnership works, and we'll just have a great conversation. So click the link in the chat, or go ahead and open a browser and type in calendly.com/Mena Badros. It should take you to my calendar and schedule a 15-minute call with me. I should say, I just received a list of classes that I will be teaching. Some national designation classes and some CE classes for realtors. Those classes I'm committed to, but they have not made their way into my calendar yet. So if you book the time where I do have a class, I will be sure to reach out in advance and reschedule that due to conflict. So I just wanted to give you a heads up of that. Usually my calendar is well updated, but like I said, I just received a list of classes that I committed to from here all the way till May. So some of my current availability is not going to be there anymore. But go ahead and schedule that 15-minute call. And if there are any conflicts on my schedule, I will get back to you and reschedule. Hopefully you guys found this informative. Hopefully you take at least one thing and you will apply consistently, because remember, unapplied knowledge is simply entertainment. I'd love your feedback. Feel free to drop something in the comments or in the chat, or even reply to my email or text when I send them out to you later. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.